In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to survive slow season as a filmmaker. Now, what is slow season? It's that time of year. We're going into November, December, the last 2 months of the year. Things are starting to slow down a little bit. Santa Claus is coming to town. The turkey's starting to get fat, and people are starting to just chill and relax a little bit. And as a filmmaker, you might be feeling a little bit of that pressure where the work's kind of drying up, things aren't really happening, and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I keep things going through the end of the year so that I can start next year really strong? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about that slow season. Why does that slow season happen? And is it actually happening? And what do you do about it? So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to give you my top 3 tips for surviving slow season as a filmmaker, or really as any type of entrepreneur, because this is kind of a universal thing, regardless of what you do. So tip number 1 is that slow season is actually a myth. It's not even real. It's completely invented. It's made up. It's in your head. It's not real. Just internalize that. Write it down 100 times on a piece of paper. Slow season is a myth. Slow season is a myth. The slow season is a lie, just like the cake is a lie. Now, why do I say that? While there is some truth to the fact that things generally do slow down in the filmmaking world in the winter because things get cold, it's harder to do shoots outside. Most movies are shot during the summer when the weather's nice, when people want to be outside. And yes, that absolutely is a thing. But the thing you got to realize is that going into November, December, we are about to see the biggest sales days of the entire year. We got Black Friday and we got Christmas coming up. And this is when all of the companies are out there doing all of their selling. They're trying to sell new products, they're trying to ship things, they're trying to get them out there, and they're trying to sell as much as they possibly can during the end of the year. Companies like Apple are like so quiet throughout the rest of the year, and then come fall and the very end of the year, they start releasing products like crazy. And so if they're out selling like crazy, why shouldn't you be? So the thing that happens is I think a lot of filmmakers get into this idea that like winter is slow season and there's not as much work. And so then what they do is when you get that in your head and you start to believe that, it actually affects the way that you present yourself. And you start sitting around watching Netflix and eating Cheetos all day because you believe that there's not any work coming. And it's kind of like a recession, right? When there's a recession, a lot of times a majority of a recession actually happens in the minds of the people. When people believe we're in a recession, they start hoarding their money, they start saving, they stop spending it, and that is the thing that actually stops the economy from growing. So it ends up becoming kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So slow season is kind of the same thing. If you believe that the work is slow, you're probably going to spend more time sitting around watching a little bit more Netflix this year, not quite doing as much work, not doing as many reach outs, not going to as many networking events, or trying to make things happen as much as possible. And then therefore your work actually slows down and you go, see, I knew it was slow season. And then you do that year after year after year, and then it becomes a seasonal thing. But I think the best thing to do is to do what Robert Kiyosaki says when he talks about how he survived the 2008 financial crisis, is he says, I simply didn't participate in it. And so mentally up here, you've got to tell yourself that there is no slow season and that regardless of what is going on, you are going to dig in and you're going to continue to grow your business because ultimately that's what it's going to take. Now, you might be thinking like, yes, Eric, I get that there's Black Friday and there's Christmas coming up and people are selling iPhones and products and laptops and TVs and all that kind of stuff, but how does that affect filmmaking? Well, even though it's not necessarily that filmmaking is being sold all the time, it's your clients that are actually doing all of the selling over the next couple months, and they need your help. So you can come in as a filmmaker to help them shoot the commercials and the ads and the social media content and all the other stuff that they need created so that they can crush it over the next couple months. And if you're able to help them to crush it, you will also be able to crush it. Okay, number 2, now that we know that slow season is absolutely a myth, the second tip is to steal your work from your competition. Now, why do I say that? Well, because most of your competition probably isn't watching this video and they probably haven't realized yet that slow season is a myth. And so they're the ones that are sitting around watching the Netflix and eating the Cheetos. I call them Cheeto fingers, okay? You guys ever heard of Cheeto fingers? You ever had Cheetos before? You know when you eat a lot of Cheetos and your fingers turn orange? All right. So if you ever walk up to a filmmaker and you talk to them and they've got orange fingers, you know right away that you don't have to worry about them because they've been spending their time eating Cheetos and now you're going to swoop in and pick up all the work. All right, jokes aside, the point I'm trying to make here is that if everybody else in your industry believes that it is slow season, that is the best time for you to pick things up, dig in your heels, and start getting to work. Because if everybody's off on break and watching Netflix, that means that there's so much more opportunity for you to go in and pick up those clients that are being underserved by your competition. The next few months are actually a time when people are in a buying mood. They love to buy because they're being asked to buy by so many other people. And when people are in a buying mood, it's the best time to ask them to buy your products or your services and to swoop in and to create those offers that are going to get people on the books for right now or the beginning of next year. All right, and tip number 3 is to create a consistent marketing plan. Why is this? Well, The reason that slow season happens in the first place is because of inconsistent marketing. So if you're a filmmaker and you've ever had that experience where maybe there was a month or two where you had a ton of work, you had all these people hiring you, everything's great and it was awesome, and then you went like 3 months or 5 months or 6 months without hearing from anybody. Anybody ever had that happen? So the reason why that happens is because you're not marketing yourself consistently. Most filmmakers, because they're one-man bands or they're very small teams, when they're busy shooting for clients, they're not busy marketing their business and getting sales to come after they finish with these clients. And so when there's a gap in your marketing, it means there's going to be a gap in your work. The way I like to look at it is that your current situation as a filmmaker, whether you're busy or not busy, is a result of the marketing that you were doing 6 months ago. So if 6 months ago you were really busy and you were out there and you were networking and you were meeting people and you were making it happen, then the last few months might have been kind of slow, but now things are starting to pick up. But on the flip side, if 6 months ago you were really busy doing work for clients and you were completely neglecting your marketing, you might have had a lot of work then and it was amazing, but now things are going really slow. So many filmmakers are caught in this feast or famine cycle. It's like either really good or really bad and nothing in between. And the solution to solve that is to make sure that you have a very consistent marketing plan. That means going to a certain number of networking events every single month, regardless of whether you're busy or not. It means doing a certain number of cold reach outs. It means posting consistently on social media. It means running ads. It means doing the marketing activities that you have decided on for your business and doing them consistently, no matter whether you're busy with work right now or you're not, so that you can create a consistent stream of clients throughout the year, regardless of whether it's slow season or if it's fast season. It doesn't matter because your business is steady and on track all the time. All right, guys, there's my top 3 tips for surviving slow season this year. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you going to do over the next couple months to make sure that the work keeps coming in and so that you're setting yourself up for success in 2023, next year, when it's time to get back into things. As always, if you have any questions about this video, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'm always reading those comments, and I will see you guys on the next video.